in 2 months. Hello, Mr.
Yes.
Bala.
Hi, Lam. You look very different now.
Yeah,
Lam was my colleague in World Steel Company, and I'm happy that he joins us back in the Zoom meeting today.
yeah,
Welcome, Lam. Okay,
yeah,
that's really
yeah.
interesting to see.
I'm
I think
very
you have
happy
come.
to see you
Yeah,
again. Yeah,
yes, you have come for the right session. We are trying to promote the IELTS and the English communication and speaking among the young Vietnamese. Right now, we have been successful enough to get around 300 people in the platform. And what we are going to do and what we are doing is a kind of a non-profitable and a kind of a charity, or we want to do something to the young people of Vietnam to improve their English communication so that they can be better in their job, and in turn there will be a growth all directions. Okay. Having said this, can I start with my presentation, Mr. Sunglet? You have anything to say?
Yes, you can start, Mr. Bala. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go ahead with my presentation. Welcome once again to IELTS 8.5. Here, right now, there is a common man feeling about IELTS. People think why we need to study IELTS. They think IELTS is needed only for English teachers. If someone says IELTS is suitable only for English teachers, it is like saying Saigon or Ho Chi Minh City is District 1 only. District 1 is one among the 30 districts in Saigon City or the Ho Chi Minh City. As you all know, Saigon City is very big. The Ho Chi Minh City is very big. There are around 30 districts are there. There are 12 districts by number 1 to 12, and there are other 18 districts by name like San Phu, San Binh, Vientiane, and so on and so forth. The same way, when we talk about IELTS, IELTS has got two broader classifications. One, one part of the, if you consider IELTS like a coin, the front side of the coin, the IELTS coin, is IELTS for English teaching. And the back side of the IELTS coin has IELTS for general purpose. When we are into industry and we want to conduct some business, we have businesses happening within the country, which is intranational, and it happens from country to country, which is international. And within Vietnam, you can communicate in Vietnamese and conduct all your business. Maybe I'm from India. In India, in my province, I can use my Indian language and I can communicate and I can conduct the business. For example, I'm an Indian and I want to conduct a business with a Vietnamese person. He speaks Vietnamese, I speak Indian language. Then how do I conduct the business? That is where there is a need for common language. Whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, English has been proven as the international business language for the past 200 years, especially for the past 100 years, 50 years. English has been the business language, and when we undergo the IELTS training and examination, that is going to prepare ourselves to communicate better with our customer. In life, if you talk about business, there are only two parties. One party is the customer, and the other party is the supplier. If you take yourself in life, in some places you will be the customer, and in some places you will be the supplier. And when the supplier wants to talk to the customer, we need to have a common platform. We need to have a common medium. We need to have a common language so that the supplier needs to talk the customer's language and customer needs to talk the supplier's language, which is English. Having said that, let me get into my presentation without wasting much time. I would like to give you a general presentation how important English is for business communication, and again we can say how important IELTS is for learning English and using it for business communication. As the presentation shows here, my name is Mr. Bala. My name is Gurusamy Bala Subramanian. Gurusamy is my father's name. Bala Subramanian is my name. And both the names come by the Hindu god in India, because most of the Hindu people in India, their name will be the name of the Hindu god. We have many gods in Hindu religion. Gurusamy and Balasubramanian, both they represent Lord Muruga or Lord Subramanya Gopal. Later I can tell in another, I can have a presentation about that one separately. In Vietnam, they used to call me, when I come to Vietnam in the year 2010, they used to call me as Mr. Bala. And also, at that time I found in Vietnamese, there was little bit difficulty for the pronunciation for the word yes. They used to call me as Mitter Bala. And Mitter Bala, here it was very sweet for me because when you speak English with Vietnamese accent, that adds value. You know, when you talk English, pure English, it's like water, like a glass of water you have here. It has no color, no odor, and no taste. But when you speak English with see, I speak English. I speak with Indian accent, and invariably, 99%, when the Vietnamese start learning English and they start speaking English, it will be with Vietnamese accent. You don't have to feel bad about it because that is the one which adds value to your English language. If you try to speak like an American, or if you try to speak like a British or other person, it means that you are trying to copy someone and you are doing some kind of a copycat effect. I'm proud of my Indian English and Indian accent while I speak English. The same way they used to call me as Mr. Bala. That's how I have been called last 14 years. Recently, in the past 1 or 2 years, I see most of my colleagues are very young, in their 20s and 30s, almost same like the age of my children. So they used to call me as Mr. Bala. They cut short and they call me as Ang Ba. Ang Ba, I think, is number three in Vietnam. And I also have something to say about Ang Mot Konko Vietnam, Ang Ka Ko, Ang Ha, Ang Ba. Even if you see about the days, Sunday is not too mot, Sunday is too net, and you have too high, too ba like that. That's how I'm called Ang Ba in Vietnam. I'm currently the Chief Business Development Officer for World Steel Group, which is one of the best companies in Vietnam for supplying the steel buildings all over the world. We are proud of part of World Steel Group being quality conscious company. The Vietnamese company, the only Vietnamese company which has got AC 472 certification is World Steel. Having said that, I have a master in civil and structural engineering, and I have a master of business administration in finance and marketing. And for your information, ladies and gentlemen, I'm 58 years old. I'm born in year 1965, Moichin Taulam, Angba, Namoy Kam Tori. And I have been working my first job from the age of Hai Moi Motsoi, that is 21 years old, that is Moichin Saulam. From the year 1986, I have been working continuously for the past 38 years. And I put here in between 36 years in my introduction because after my graduation, I studied masters for 2 years. That also with stipend or with payment. And I used to take classes part-time to the graduate students. But that 2 years of education, I cannot call as a job. That's why 38 has become 36 years. And for your information, gentlemen, I born in 1965 and 1995 I went to Saudi Arabia. I stayed there for 15 years. And 2010, I was lucky enough to come to Vietnam. 2010 to 2015, I was in Vietnam. Again, I go back to India and Saudi Arabia. I came back to Vietnam in 2019, and last 5 years I'm here. This is about my introduction. And believe me, the purpose of my conducting this meeting, the purpose of education. Why do we study? Why do we study mathematics? Why do we study science? Why do we study Vietnamese? Why do we study English? Any language we study, the purpose of knowledge is not just for studying and sleeping or relaxing. Education takes you to the next level. Education takes you to the level of entrepreneurship. Education takes you to the level of enterprising. Education takes you to get entertainment in life. After you work hard, you earn money for you and your family and the people around you. We used to call it as a work hard and party. That's why you see in my first page, apart from my introduction, you have 1 million US dollar note. There is no note available, no bill available. 1 million US dollar. It is only a notional, or we can say it's like a memento. Please don't try to search in the Benton market or any gold shop. Mr. Bala told there's a 1 million US dollar note. Can you give me? It's not available. This 1 million US dollar is here in your mind. Then you can do your business properly, make your customer happy. You will get 1 million US dollar one day. That is the target for whoever. We have around 300 people in our IELTS 8.5 CDM group. All these 300 people, please keep in your mind, 1 million US dollar is our target. And if we achieve it today, it's little bit difficult. But tomorrow, it's possible. Maybe day after tomorrow, it's much possible. As it's only a matter of time. Okay. Having said that, I show you my business card and the chief business development officer in my company, which take care of my services. And I'm very happy to work with the World Steel because in World Steel, we respect the human value. We respect the employees because a company is as strong as its employees. And when company takes care of us, we take care of the company. Having said that, I want to go for the next slide. Okay. Any questions for the first slide? Can I go to the second slide?
Yes, so Mr. Bala, you have been working for so many countries before. So what is the most important lesson that you've learned after so many years of work and travel?
Okay, the lesson learned, Mr. Chungle, the culture, the work culture in countries, in every country is different. The way people conduct their business in India is different. The way people conduct business in Saudi Arabia is different. The way the business is being conducted in Vietnam is different. In every country, when they are conducting the business, they mostly conduct it the way it has been conducted in the past. People try to do something standardization based on what has been done in the past 100 years. You know, my business has been taught by my father or by my teacher. Or where I joined the job, my immediate boss in my first job tells Bala, you should do like this, like this, like this. So when we begin, we borrow the knowledge and we borrow the SOP, the standard operating procedure. We start learning from our seniors. But as we start growing in the industry, as we start working in India, then working in Saudi Arabia and working in Vietnam, we have to tweak the SOP. We have to upgrade the SOP based on the current situation, and we have to see in what way the things are done good in India. Take it. What are all the shortcomings or some kind of what do you call pitfalls? Remove that one. You see in Saudi Arabia how fast things are being done, how people are empowered. Because you know India is following the model from the British, where the works are being delegated from higher end to lower end, and everyone has to. The peon has to do his job, the officer has to do his job, and clerk has to do his job, and the manager has to do his job. That is the way the British have trained us to do the hierarchy. But when I go to Saudi Arabia, I understand they are following the American method. In the American method, it is not top to bottom. There is no pyramid. It has got separate vertical. And mostly in the American method, the manager, sometimes he multiplies, he multitasks. Because Saudi Arabia is a country where you cannot afford to have a driver separately. So I am the manager. When I drive my car, I am the driver. Like that, when I prepare my quotation or something, I am the clerk. So Saudi Arabia gives me the American technology of one-man army. That's the style. But when I come to Vietnam, I get altogether a different culture in Vietnam. Especially what I like in Vietnam is the people, how they take the ownership for the job in Vietnam is very good. Even the guy who joined the company, he may be 20 years old, 21 years old. We can trust him and we can tell him in Vietnam, I need this job to be done. In Vietnam, if the Vietnamese person says, sir, it will be done today, that today does not end for him. He will work up to 6 o'clock. If it is not ended, he will work up to 7 o'clock. If it is not ended, he will work up to night 12 o'clock. Sometimes they work around the clock, finish the job by morning 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, release, and then they go home. That is the way I have seen. And for your information, Mr. Singh, the country like India, it is a kind of a developed country when compared to Vietnam. And we have got certain levels in last 30 years we have seen. If you see Vietnam, you have 100 million population and you have many youngsters here. I see Vietnam as the heaven of human resources potential. I think I do not know exactly the percentage. Maybe you can correct me. I think more than 50 to 60% of Vietnamese population is under 30, 35, who are in the employable stage, and this country is booming. This country is producing. I have seen Vietnam in 2010 producing what do you call workers, blue collar workers. Then in 2010, 2015, maybe we see white collar workers. Now in 2020s, I see Vietnam as a country of CEOs. Currently, the Vietnamese companies have overtaken the so-called joint venture or the MNC or the multinational companies in Vietnam. The companies which are currently running the Vietnam steel industry are the companies owned by Vietnamese. And for your information, Mr. Chung, the steel companies in Vietnam, mostly they don't speak English. They speak Vietnamese. They do all the work using English within Vietnam. Fabrication, everything done in Vietnam. But only when your customer is outside Vietnam, you need a bridge and do some kind of a communication to customer and deliver the thing. Okay? Did I answer your question?
Yes, Mr. Bala. So, Ms. Hui, what question do you have for Mr. Bala? Ms. Hui.
Yes, because I have to go ahead with the presentation also. Maybe they can see the presentation and ask the question also. Maybe I think my introduction and first page, if I ask them to ask question, I think it may be too much for them. You understand? I will start with my presentation. Now I want to quickly talk about Vietnamese job market. You know, after the COVID situation, yeah, I think whoever wants to say something?
Mr. Bala, you speak rapidly.
I should speak slowly, right?
Yes.
Okay, 60. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have many things to say, and I always speak. Always people have told me. Okay. Miss Hui, your voice is breaking. Maybe your internet, the way you speak, I could not hear clearly. Maybe I speak fast, but your internet connection is slow. Mr. Chungle, can you please help Hui? What she wants, I will slow down. Yes? Can I go ahead with my speech, please?
15 phút nữa, 15 phút nữa. 15 phút nữa.
Okay. Now let us talk about the Vietnamese job market. Yeah. I go ahead with the presentation. Right now, I want to start about the Vietnamese job market. You know, after the COVID situation, now Vietnam is trying to come back to normal. Last 4 years, the COVID situation has created a lot of problems all over the world. It was a global situation. Now I could see last few months, we are slowly we are coming out of the COVID situation, and there is a chance for a boom in Vietnam job market in the year 2024. But honestly speaking, 2025, I hope it will be much better. I hope there is no more wave for any corona or anything. It will be much better. Coming down, now you see, I show you Vietnam job market. I show one sample job. There is a company starting in Vietnam for logistics and what do you call cargo shipping company. For the shipping company, they just put a job description. They talk about a sales executive, senior sales executive, who can work with the sales department, customer relationship, and he do the performance and he do the market search. And this person should have enough experience in the shipping industry so that when he is put into the company, he should be able to perform from day one about the shipping activity. This is only a sample, okay? Next, I go to another page. I saw yesterday, there is a very interesting advertisement by one of the top headhunters in Vietnam. I think her name is Miss Anne. Miss Anne is one of the top headhunters in Vietnam. I saw from her Zalo and from her LinkedIn. There are many positions available in Vietnam for more than $2,000 salary. And as you see here, there is a sales head, technical manager, purchasing manager, research and development manager, sales director, and you see many places like Dong Nai, Long An, and Hanoi. Also, they have some job for a foreigner, for a Japanese person, and QA/QC manager. Later, after my speech, this presentation also will be provided. I think we can share the presentation to the people in the group, and they can go through the details to see that what kind of the job Vietnam currently offers for the locals as well as for the foreigners, and what is the salary levels we can expect. You can see that the salary levels being offered are getting competitive in the market, and that's a very good news. I'll go to the next page. You can see further to the advertisement, they said there are positions available in Vietnam market. There are positions available in Australian market. Vietnamese can apply from here and go. Canada, they can go. US, they can go. This is a sample situation about the job market. Okay. If we talk about this job market, how we can get this job? Can we just get this job by speaking only Vietnamese? If you speak Vietnamese, your job market is limited to inside Vietnam. If you can speak English, you can go anywhere in the world. From Vietnam, you can start with USA, and you can come to Middle East, and you can come to.
Okay, so Mr. Bala, we can end the meeting. It's already 6:30.
Wow. I know, Mr. Tungle, the presentation I have got 20 pages, and this is only the beginning. Okay?
Yeah. Next time we can continue.
Yes, because you see, next I have the basic English vocabulary for Vietnamese. I can continue.
So next time we can start tomorrow. We can start right away with the basic English vocabulary.
Yeah. Tomorrow, what we do, we again start from my first pages, but I can run through fast. I can do what we have covered until now. Tomorrow I'll cover in 2 minutes. Then I go from there. Okay?
Cover quickly.
And before we close, I think Lam is still there, or only you and me are there. Okay, we are gone.
Yeah. So maybe this Zoom, you can interact with them, ask questions if they want to learn English.
Yes, because what I'm thinking is my presentation, 20 pages, is the back end, and rather this is the anchoring of the situation. Depending upon the number of people, because we have 300 people, we have to bring them into the meeting. Maybe I just have a feeling that this timing, is it really suitable for the Vietnamese to attend the meeting? This also let us conduct for a week or something, and then we'll see. People need to come.
Just start. Do it every day. So you can do only you and me. We still keep doing it, and that also good for our channel. And then also, if anyone can see it, and if you want to show somebody that you got presentation, you can send them the link. And pretty convenient. So just do it every day.
You know, Mr. Tungle, honestly speaking, I think I like the timing. The morning 6:30 to 7 o'clock is also ideal for me.
So which one do you prefer? You want to start at 6:30 or 6 a.m.?
I think I'm okay for 6, no problem. See, sometimes maybe if we finish our previous day work very late, like 12 o'clock and other things, maybe 6 may be a problem. What we'll do is ideally let us try to keep it 6, so that at least we can start. We'll keep the start of 6 to 7, and by 7 we close. And other than you and me, if we are going to call another guest speaker, maybe we need to check with them if they are okay with this timing, or maybe if they are okay for the weekend, like Saturday, Sunday. Because if somebody is working in the school or somebody is working in the site, they need to wake up and go to their job very early. Because if they are working in the school or have the march past or any drill or something. So what we do, when we talk about other guest speakers, we will give them the slot if they want Saturday, Sunday, or if they want the evening slot or something. Then our special session can be depending upon this. This is our basic session. Like I want to keep this 6 to 7 as a standard practice. Actually, 6:30 to 7 means I think it's not enough. What do you think? Maybe I think ideally speaking, 6:15 to 6:45. That will be the best thing.
6:15.
Yeah, 6:15 to 6:45. That because in driving also they say you have to hold the steering 3 and 9, so that your driving will be okay and the airbag will not hit you. So when you talk about 6:15 and 6:45 means it's coming as 3 and 9. We cover 3, 6, and 9. because as per Tesla, you have to cover either you cover 369 means it's energy efficient and it's very powerful. Okay.
So tomorrow we can try 6:30 again, right?
6:15, 6:15.
6:15. Okay, 6:15, right? Tomorrow.
6:15
Okay.
we start, we close. See, I tell you, 6:15, even though we say, if you and me are ready, maybe we can come by 6 o'clock, no problem. But when we close by 6:45, we can go maximum up to 7 o'clock. Because if it is after 7 o'clock means maybe the other schedules may get affected. And
Okay.
as required, we can have any special session in the evening, and we can have the session during the weekend. I think even like our friend Mr. AJ, if he's teacher AJ, in case if he agreed to do one session for us, it will be very lucky for us and our students, because he's a very well trained English teacher. For your information, you know, Mr. Single, I'm not an English teacher. I'm basically I'm an engineer and I'm a technocrat, and I'm a person who is there in the actual real business. And I'm good at technical English and I'm good at business English. And if you ask me anything, all the things I talk will be related to engineering, like elevation, plan, vertical, horizontal, dimension, and what you call radius and diameter.
I think you can do that.
Angle.
Like talk about.
That's why I think yes. For our other guest speakers, we will give their ideal time and the weekend or whatever it is.
Mr. Bala, show them a structure of the building and tell them the top one for canopy and the name of the window is for this window and this one foundation.
You told very nicely. I have a presentation for a pre-engineered building. I can tell people what is
show them the 3D dimension of the building and tell them what they call its name, right?
Mr. Chungle, I'm really surprised. The way you are talking like a PEB engineer. When you talk about the canopy and the 3D and other things, I think maybe I should become English teacher and you should become the PEB engineer. That will be very nice.
Maybe you can teach them all vocabularies in your area, in your civil engineering.
Yes. You are right. Because the jargon,
very valuable.
Mr. Chungle, I believe whether it is IT industry or we talk about supply chain or we talk about blockchain.
Supply chain.
Everything is nothing vocabulary only. When we know the jargon, like, you know, first time when you told me IELTS, I'm thinking, oh, what is IELTS? What is IELTS? Like when we know the jargon, I think it's only 50 to 100 words, the key words. When we know the word, I think, Mr. Chungle, you know, when we talk something, we get some idea. WORD is word, right?
Yeah.
Word. Word is vocabulary. You just put L inside that one, it becomes world. So our company, World Steel, is nothing but word steel. With word only, world has come. Okay?
Yeah.
Very interesting conversation. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and have a good day.